What's going on, Perform24 family? Levi Jaeckel back with another video. Today's going to be a really short video talking about how I'm training my pressing movements without a bench here in this space. So when I was building out this space, I intentionally made the decision not to get a bench. And there were actually some comments in a previous video about that specific point, which I find that's pretty funny. So people are giving me a hard time about not having a bench in here. That's usually a staple in any home gym. And so not having a bench is a little unconventional. So the reason that I didn't buy a bench is, flat benches aren't that expensive, but when you start looking at adjustable benches, they get kind of expensive pretty quick. And this is a very small training space. This is, part of a single car garage bay, and, I just didn't want to spend the footprint on a bench. So I thought that, I'd be able to work around not having a bench in here and to get creative in my pressing movements. And so far, it's gone really well. So what I'm planning on doing here is just showing a whole bunch of different clips of me doing different pressing movements. Feel free, obviously, to steal these and then modify to the equipment that you have. So for example, if you see me doing a decline floor press with a barbell, feel free to substitute that with dumbbells if you have those at home, or kettlebells, or whatever you have. So this is just an idea on how I'm training the pressing movements without a bench. There is a nice little variation here in these clips. Any overhead variation is going to translate to a horizontal press, like a typical bench press, pretty well. So if you're getting stronger in your overhead pressing, you're probably going to translate pretty seamlessly to a flat bench when you get the chance to do a flat bench. So any overhead press is an obvious example. And then the floor press variations and then the decline floor press variations are stuff that I use all the time. And again, I kind of vary the equipment, whether that's a barbell, dumbbell, kettlebell, on that flat floor press or the decline floor press. The incline floor press on the foam roller, that's something that I've started doing with both myself and my wife here recently, and that seems to work very well. The foam roller is surprisingly stable, and it puts you in a surprisingly perfect range of motion for that incline press. So just getting your scaps nice and stable on that foam roller is a really nice incline pressing variation that I'm using more and more and more. So I know a lot of you guys might be working out at home and you don't have access to like really heavy weight. I do have a rack system and a barbell in here that I can load up pretty well. And my dumbbell set only goes up to 50s. So sometimes on my dumbbell pressing, I need a little bit more resistance. And so the way that I make light dumbbells feel heavier, I have a couple tricks up my sleeve there. So usually, I'll either slow the tempo down so it's a really slow eccentric press on those dumbbell presses. Sometimes I'll sneak in partial reps. So I'm doing a half rep plus a full rep, half rep, full rep. That's a really killer way to make those light dumbbells go a long ways for you. And then about a year ago, I made a video about how to add resistance bands to dumbbells to kind of combine the resistance from both of those pieces to make your light dumbbells feel a little bit heavier. You can watch that video. I'll link it below. And then finally, personally here in this space, I can train my pressing movements on the rings or on that dip attachment that I have for the rack. So the rings are killer for any of your pressing variations. Doing ring push-ups or ring dips are killer. So, I knew when I was building this space out that I was going to have the rings, and that was another reason why I didn't buy a bench. And then the rack that I ended up buying, the guy ended up throwing in that dip attachment for free. So, I really appreciated that as well. So if you have a space to either throw rings on top of, that might be another option for you to do in a small space like this, just to add to your pressing variety. All right, that's gonna wrap up today's video. Nice, short, and sweet, just throwing a whole bunch of information at you and a whole bunch of ideas at you, kind of sharing how I'm training my pressing movements without having an actual bench in here. Like I said, a lot of people kind of like scoffed at me that I wasn't gonna have a bench, but so far things are going well. Haven't gotten bored with the variations that I am using, and I haven't lost any strength at all on the bench press. If you guys train your pressing movements without a bench in a way that I did not mention here, please let me know below. I always love finding out new creative solutions to situations like this. So please let me know what you guys are doing. That's gonna wrap it up for today. As always, train hard, live full, and I will catch you in the next video. Also, P.S. Appreciate you guys. The channel is growing. That's all thanks to you. Appreciate it.